The Great Lakes, their connecting channels, and the St. Lawrence River collectively comprise the world's largest body of fresh surface water, which provides the region's 8 states and 2 provinces with an abundance of high-quality fresh water. Both the United States and Canada recognize the need to restore and protect this important resource. In 1972, both signed the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement to achieve just that. In 1987, they renewed the agreement, adding specific water quality planning and restoration programs. They made a commitment to develop a comprehensive approach to restoring and protecting the Great Lakes and the surrounding ecosystems. One of the areas of concern identified was a segment of 18-Mile Creek, located in the town of Newfane. Newfane sits in northern Niagara County in western New York. The segment in question had a drainage area of 93 square miles, all located within Niagara County. 18-Mile Creek flows north and discharges into Lake Ontario, approximately 18 miles east of the mouth of the Niagara River through Olcott Harbor. It was recognized early on that local communities and governments would be key players in the restoration of the Great Lakes Basin ecosystem. A unique collaboration between public, private, and nonprofit sectors came together to achieve the 18-Mile Creek streambank stabilization and habitat restoration. Both monetary funding and in-kind services were offered. 18-Mile Creek contains several potential aquatic resource problems, including contaminated sediments, contamination of fish, impact on benthos, and the loss of habitat in the lower reach of 18-Mile Creek. Additionally, non-point source pollution had impacted the beneficial uses of the creek. In recent years, there has been a loss of quality habitat for trout and salmon in Lake Ontario tributaries, including the 18-Mile Creek area of concern, thus endangering the long-term success of those species. In addition, the segment of 18-Mile Creek below Burt Dam was identified as having impaired fishing and as possibly being dangerous for fish consumption. Other problems include streambank erosion, trail surface erosion, loss of wildlife habitat, and a loss of a riparian buffer. Project planning for the 1-mile stretch of the project area was initiated and took place over a span of 2 years. Site reconnaissance was performed and included site surveys, soil identification, flora and faunal studies, habitat characterization, and a Roskin stream classification. Project design revolved around incorporating bioengineering techniques and soft stabilization methods wherever feasible. This means the restoration would use natural methods like planting to repair the damaged creek. One of the design challenges of the project was that the area has historically been one of the most popular fishing destinations for anglers in Niagara County and typically draws thousands of fishermen yearly, particularly during fall salmon runs. It was important that the final product not only accommodate so many people, but that it also finished in time for the fishing season. During the restoration of 18-Mile Creek, a project philosophy was developed. As much as possible, the techniques used were developed by observing nature and natural processes. The design team worked with existing stream alignment and the materials that were available. Designers wanted to work with the stream, nudge, not fight the stream energy and stream tendencies. And most importantly, leave nature alone when it's working well. That means hands-off well-functioning sections of the stream and riparian corridor. The 3 main goals for streambank stabilization were stabilizing the eroding banks in the riparian corridor, reestablishing and enhancing the riparian buffer, which provided shade to the creek, and revegetating all disturbed areas, establishing tough plants for high foot traffic areas. Streambank stabilization work was designed to improve bank stability, enhance existing aquatic habitat, and reduce pollution using bioengineering along the existing eroded stream banks. Streambank stabilization efforts included constructing a stepped 6-foot-high rock riprap wall along an approximate 300-foot section of severely eroded streambank. This rock wall not only drastically stabilizes the eroding bank, but it also provides excellent fisherman access. The stepped wall riprap design worked well because there were many openings between the stones, which could be filled with soil and seeded for planting. The native plantings were incorporated into the wall at strategic locations, and a 2-to-1 slope above the wall was seeded and covered with core fiber erosion control mats. The best management practices were utilized throughout project implementation, such as the use of a turbidity curtain, which stopped unwanted material from being washed into the stream when work was being done. To guide the planting restoration efforts, a detailed planting plan was developed that divided the work into 2 phases: post-construction planting in fall 2003, and the final native grass, flower, and shrub planting in the spring of 2004. The focus of the planting plan was to select species with superior erosion control and plants that would provide food and shelter. The plantings also helped to direct anglers to designated fisherman access portions of the stream bank. A variety of native species were used, including stream co-willow, silky willow, silky dogwood, red osier dogwood, and buttonbush. Fishermen have been given greater access to the stream. They can easily enter the stream for wading through new access points along the stream, and space has been added for fly fishermen. Most importantly, the added space allows emergency vehicles direct access to the creek in case of emergency. All of this has been achieved while maintaining a natural aesthetic. Through the use of large toe stones and carefully selected plantings, we were able to create areas for fishermen while maintaining areas for wildlife. With the assistance of the United States Army Corps of Engineers research hydraulic engineer, Dave Derrick, several innovative bioengineering techniques were incorporated into the design of the project. Habitat enhancement features included the construction of 7 lunkers, 6 wood and 1 stone, to provide cover and resting area for fish and improve bank stability. A lunker is an artificial stream bank overhang. This allows the aquatic habitat shade and shelter while at the same time providing excellent fisherman access. Hydraulic cover stones were placed in areas of the stream where there was little vegetative cover or undercut banks. As fast water rushes downstream and hits the hydraulic cover stone, it must slow down. Water on either side of the stone must then speed up because of the restricted flow. This in turn leaves a pocket of very slow-moving water between the 2 channels of high flow. Additionally, vortices are formed, and in some cases water will flow in reverse, back upstream behind the stone. These areas of complex water flow are perfect for fish. They can rest behind the stone and easily dart into areas of high flow for food, or they can use multiple stones as a way to step up the river, resting behind each stone as they move upstream. These stones also help to add oxygen to the water and are crucial for protecting fish during high flow events like floods. All of the material left over from clearing the path was reused to carbon load the creek. Because the project area of 18-Mile Creek is located downstream of the Burt Dam, the natural deposits of fallen trees and other carbon material was blocked from the area. Therefore, it was necessary to replace this material, which was trapped upstream. Carbon loading consisted of placing locked logs, locked limbs, and dense root mass replication at strategic locations in the creek. Locked logs are branches and small trunks 2 to 8 inches in diameter, while locked limbs are smaller branches. Both the locked logs and limbs were placed underwater and weighted down with riprap stones. Dense root mass replication consisted of small willow limbs being placed underwater and weighted down to mimic exposed underwater tree roots. In addition to carbon loading, these structures will provide habitat for small fish and amphibians. One of the core goals of the restoration was to avoid harm while imitating nature. In one area of the project, several trees were in the way of path construction. Rather than removing the trees, they were pushed towards the stream and the path was built on top of the roots. The concept extreme instant shade was invented and referred to resting 2 large tree branches on a toe stone in the creek. The expectation is that in the future the trees will provide shade tens of feet out into the stream. Bent willow poles were also incorporated into pockets of the stepped riprap wall to provide shade. The public outreach component of the project included creating an educational brochure, development of a project fact sheet, holding a groundbreaking ceremony, creating this project videotape, and a 2-day educational workshop was held and consisted of 3 distinct activities: The first day of the workshop was a series of technical speaker presentations. Experts from around the country participated and discussed topics such as habitat restoration, watershed modeling and design, restoration and politics, and 18-Mile Creek project specifics. The second day of the workshop was designed to be a community day. An educational field trip was held for local elementary school students. The students participated in 7 different activities that concluded with an environmental fair, where 20 local environmental organizations showcased their activities. It is important to keep the public informed of what you are doing and to build support in the local community, as well as keep local, state, and federal elected officials involved in the process. To address water quality issues, a 2-year sampling program was initiated. The data collected will assist in developing a watershed management plan and further explain the extent of contamination in the area of concern. Restoring the 18-Mile Creek watershed has been a high priority for Niagara County and the town of Newfane for several years. Through a cooperative effort by numerous stakeholders, the vision of transforming a popular fishing destination into a safe, enjoyable recreational experience while simultaneously restoring quality aquatic and streamside habitat has become a reality. Because of the extensive bioengineering that was incorporated into the project, it will be used as a model locally for future streambank stabilization and habitat restoration. The 18-Mile Creek Habitat Restoration Project was designed to be the first phase of restoring the entire watershed. Due to its visibility, we hope this phase of the project will act as a catalyst for attracting attention and support for other aspects of the watershed restoration efforts, which are related to the overall protection and enhancement of the 18-Mile Creek watershed. This project was successful because of a unique collaboration between the public, private, and nonprofit sector that came together and formed a strong partnership to plan, design, finance, and implement the project.